Well, a lot of people think that the higher the hertz, the less penetration you have through the body. And it seems like the lower hertz when you're using zappers, because you can actually feel them. And actually, if you use a lot of voltage and a low hertz, you can actually lock up the muscles. You know, it can actually feel painful even if you do it that way. But if you have a very high hertz, you don't actually feel nothing. You start getting up at about 100,000 hertz or even 30,000 hertz, you don't feel nothing. So what I did was I want to show you something on this zapper, and I have it kind of wrapped up with I use a lot of length of wire on this tube. That's why I have it wrapped up. But this basically has a battery light over here. That's the first one. And on the top, it's a conductivity light between, if you're making a connection through the body. So in other words, I have a connection on one wrist, and then on the other wrist I have another connection right here with that wire on that. So when I turn it on, you can see the battery light goes on, and you can see, hopefully this comes out good in the camera, but you can see the top light is dimmer than the bottom light, the battery light. And this is on 464 hertz. Now if I go ahead and turn it on 30,300 hertz, the light will get brighter. Yeah, you can notice it. The light gets brighter. But I won't feel nothing. You can actually feel it like kind of like buzzing a little bit at 464 hertz. But and you're thinking at 30,000 hertz or 30,300 hertz to be exact, it's not making as much connection through the body. But actually, the higher up the frequency, the better the permeability. And some people get mad because when they buy a zapper, they say they can't feel the frequency. Well, with this zapper, you're not. It's not that you are getting. You know, I'm not selling this zapper or nothing, but I'm just saying, you know, it's not due to the quality of the zapper that you don't feel the frequency. Well, it might be if it's low powered, but this one puts out a good 12 volts. It's actually pretty damn strong. It's stronger than, I think it's the strongest Hold-the-Clark zapper out there. It's made by Bioelectric. I've had this thing for some years, and I've been using it for a while. But when you put on the 30,300 hertz, you don't feel anything. But it's actually permeating from this wrist to this other wrist even more so. And the indicating light actually shows that by being brighter, the conductivity light. That light does not light up if there's no connection. So if I turn it on 464, you can see it gets dimmer. It's actually putting less electricity through the veins or whatever. So if I take this off of, let's say I take this off of that, I take it off, and now it's off of there, you can see the light went off. If I put it back on, I clip it back on, and you can see it's clipped back on. Well, the light goes back on, so it makes a connection. So that's on 464 hertz. Now you can actually feel this like buzzing or whatever at 464 hertz, and some people think it's making better penetration, but that's not true. When you turn it up to 30,300 hertz, you don't feel a thing. It's actually penetrating better. Actually, the cells of the body, once you get up to about 1,000,000 hertz, that's when it starts, the electricity flows a lot easier through. So actually a very low current. That's why they use current carrier waves. They might mix a signal, and they might use a higher octave of they might use a higher octave of the standard lower wave and combine that with a wave with so many octaves up to become a carrier wave, and that brings it deeper into the body. But you see, you don't feel it. You don't actually feel it. So I also want to point out, since this is even at 30,300 hertz on this setting, you can see the little label says that. Well, I think it says 30 kilohertz, but it's 30,300 exactly. It's 30.3. The other one is 464. But when you're actually using the Hold-the-Clark frequencies, and they're saying like 355,000 hertz, which is even more than 10 times this, you're not going to feel a thing, and you're going to be thinking it doesn't work. But you know, I'm not going to say, you know, that her work is well, I think her work is accurate, but you're going to think it doesn't work because you don't feel anything. But actually, you will not feel anything. It's just how it is. Some people think that, you know, the zapper is broke or something's wrong. That's not the case. And, you know, the good thing about this design is that, you know, it's connected. It's making the connection because of that, the top light shows that's the light for the connection. So if I take this wire off right now, the light goes off. The other light is for the battery. So if we put it back on, it's, where the hell is it? There it is. It makes the connection again. But, you know, again, here's 30,300 hertz. It's making a better connection. I don't feel anything, but it's actually higher hertz, permeates through the cells better. And then I put it to 464. You can see the light gets a little dimmer. Now, if I could put like a little tiny millivolt, a milliamp meter on there, you could probably get a nice reading off of that, but I don't. But that's a good indication to show you that, you know, here it is at 464. You can see the light doesn't get as much electricity. Put it up to 30,300, you get more electricity through there. And that is exactly how that principle works. So when you're using the Hulda-Clark frequencies, you know, the zapper's like, she has like a 22,500 setting. She has a 1,000 hertz setting. You can feel those a little bit. The 30,000 you won't feel. And you start getting up into the other, using her chart, like, you know, 355,000 is one of them. I don't know, there's other ones up there. Even if you're using 20 volts, you're not going to feel a thing. You're not going to feel anything at all. That's just how it is. That's just the nature of it. And you'll be thinking it doesn't work, but it, you know, it should be working according to what she said for removing whatever type of microbe she has listed. So just want to point this out. Higher frequencies will actually penetrate easier, but you will not feel them. You will not feel them.